Hello. I'm Vlad and I welcome you to my 1-year progress video with the XpressPads Finger Drumming technique. Now this video, of course, is again late and I also skipped a progress video that I promised. I'm sorry about that. I'm talking about my 8 and 9 months progress video that I was supposed to do in November, I think. I skipped that one. We're gonna talk about it in the issues section. I'm not gonna bore you with details, but there are reasons why I skipped that video. But more importantly, let's get to it. Yeah. What has been happening since my last progress video, you are asking? Well, apart from my never-ending search for the perfect pad controller setup, which I can't say I have yet, I have been writing music. Yeah, I have been fortunate to, just as I think it was in my 5th month progress video with the XpressPads Finger Drumming technique, it was that I had a breakthrough. I talked about having a breakthrough in being able to express myself through improvising on the pad controller, improvising drumming, and it was a very big achievement for me. That was actually one of my main, if not the main goal of my finger drumming journey, being able to just jam and improvise and feel good doing it. Yeah, it was already happening at 5 months in. Amazing, yeah. But the same thing happened with my music composition skills, which have not been great in the past. I've been dreaming to do music since forever, and XpressPads, finger drumming actually, XpressPads by extension, has been one of my attempts to get back into music in any shape or form. Yeah, and drumming, finger drumming, is my latest passion and discovery. But the thing that inspires me most and makes my life beautiful and full of joy is music at its core. Yeah, it just so happens that right now it's finger drumming at the front, at the core of it. Yeah. I think it's the instrument that I feel best playing. I find the most joy out of drumming. I'm sure I would find a lot of joy out of playing a real drum set, but that's just not an option that I can have right now. Maybe in the future. I don't have room in the house for it. I also have a 2.5-year-old daughter who might find some other use for that real drum kit. So for now, I'm gonna stick with finger drumming because it's, of course, not only much more convenient space-wise, it's just a pad controller connected to the computer, but also I can just, take it out when my daughter is asleep. I just take it out, jam, put it back in the box. That's it, gone. And I can also take it with me places if I have a laptop. It's portable, blah blah blah. You know why finger drumming is more convenient than real life drumming if you're not a pro, of course. If you're a pro, if you are a pro, you could benefit from finger drumming as well, in addition to your real drum kit. Yeah, I am fortunate to have found a way to express myself through music, through writing music, through expressing my feelings through music, and that came to be. I noticed that actually because I have had in autumn, winter, last year, I had some stressing situations in my personal life and professional life. And I noticed that I can express the anger and the suffering and the pain and the rage. I can express it into music. And just to show you what that means, I'm gonna insert a few snippets of some of my tracks written in that period, just a few seconds from each track that will show you the full extent of my anger, so that you don't know, so that you realize what I'm talking about when I say that I'm expressing the feelings through music. So here are a few snippets of me expressing my darkest feelings through music. Yeah. Well, I hope you enjoyed those. I will be inserting more snippets maybe throughout this video, or even at the end of the video. Just if you're just here for the finger drumming, I'm not gonna bore you with my music, but I might add stuff here and there because it's relevant to my journey, I think. So it's not just me, shamelessly throwing, promoting myself, my music. Taking advantage of this XpressPads project that I'm doing and promoting my music. This is not that. It's connected. I actually use finger drumming in my music, so it's a little bit connected. Yeah. So I might just add some more snippets at the end of the video. Of course, there's going to be links in the description for where you can find my music. I haven't published all of it yet. Just a few things, but I have a lot of it coming, so yeah.
Well, hello, this is Vlad from the future. Now this is a bit embarrassing, isn't it? I showed you a few examples of me expressing my dark feelings through some violent music, but I didn't show you me expressing happy feelings.
Yeah, in music, so here
Are a few snippets of
me
doing some happy stuff in
my music right now, yeah.
way that the beginning of the video, that footage with that sci-fi thing, that is my music. That is the music that I wrote as a trailer scoring effort, my first one, for a competition, for an online competition on metapop.com. I wrote the score for that video in hopes of winning a prize in that competition, which is the prize is Native Instruments complete software package. Yeah, because I really want that. That's one of my most wanted plugins, and actually collection of plugins in the world. Yeah, and I would just be so happy if I could win that, which is why I'm actively participating in competitions on this website, metapop.com, which offers software packages like this as prizes for the winners. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna be talking about music more in the breakthrough section. Now let's talk about progress with the XpressPads. Yeah. But before that, I would like to apologize for the poor quality of the footage in my demonstrations in the beginning of this video. I just got a new phone that I'm actually filming through right now, and I didn't do a very good job at setting it up when I recorded those demos. Therefore, there's some issues with lighting and focusing on the pads. You can't really see the pads on the launch pad. I'm sorry about that, but it's already done. I'm not going to do it again. So yeah, all my future videos from now, I'm going to be much more careful, and I'm going to make sure that you can see properly. I might just film my hands, so have the camera closer to the pad controller so that you can actually see the pads which you care about most, not my face, I guess. Yeah. Okay, on to progress. What is the progress right now? Well, since my last progress video, I have been practicing a lot less. Excuse me, I'm just gonna check if we are recording, and we are. Yeah, it's always good to check if you're not just talking to yourself and have to do it all over again. Yeah. Yes, so I have been practicing a lot less than in the first 7 or 8 months, however it was, and that means that on average I am practicing like 1 or 2 days a week now, and it will be like anywhere between half an hour, 1 hour, 1 hour and a half practice. Yeah, so I've reduced the practice time quite a lot, not intentionally, but I have had lots of work. I do work late at night a lot, so circumstances have also prevented me from doing a lot of finger drumming like before. But I've also noticed that I was trying to say that I have noticed two things. One thing that I've noticed is that it's enough. Yeah, so I don't need to practice every night to have progress. Of course, right now progress is much slower than it was at the beginning. This is a natural curve for probably any instrument, but for finger drumming, it's also stated in the XpressPads course. Andreas told us, we know this, it's after a certain point, progress just slows down, and you're gonna get occasional I was gonna say bursts, but that's not it. Like leaps or breakthroughs, or just just a noticeable improvement every once in a while, but not as often as before. It's normal. Yeah. So I've noticed that I don't have to practice every night. I would love to do that. I love finger drumming, and look, 1 year has passed and I'm not bored of it. I would do it every day. Sometimes it's just not possible. Yeah. And also, the second thing I've noticed is that after the practice sessions are much more intense right now, and after 1 hour or 1 hour and a half of intense finger drumming, I noticed that the second day after that, if I practice the second day just after that intense session, my fingers are not fully recovered, they're not fully healed. So my second, after a really good pad practice, you know, have like a really satisfactory, satisfying. I never know which one is right, satisfactory or satisfying. I have to look that up. Yeah. So after a very satisfying, I'm gonna call it satisfying. After a very satisfying pad practice, I've got like, oh yeah, that was good. That was really good. I love that. Ah, that felt so good. Next day after that, it's not good. It's like, where are my fingers? Those are not my fingers. There's different fingers. Yeah. So I've noticed that if I just leave like 1 or 2 days after one of those intense practice sessions, my fingers have time to heal and relax, and then I can have another really good pad practice that I'm proud of. Yeah. So that is, in short, why I have been practicing a lot less. Now for my... no, hold on. I was gonna say that I have notes, by the way. I'm reading from some notes because there's a lot of stuff I want to cover, and I'm tired and I'm gonna forget it, and I don't want to just ramble. I ramble anyway. I'm always rambling and talking too much, I know that. But it helps to have a structure and some notes to read from so that we don't have total chaos. Yeah. So I was gonna say that these months since my last progress video don't really feel like much progress to me personally. So I don't, if that is even possible to look objectively at myself, I could, you know, I feel like I could have been much further progress-wise than I am right now. So I don't feel like I've progressed much, but at the same time, this is a paradox. I'm very happy with where I'm at. I know in theory it sounds to me like I should be much more advanced, like I should be doing a lot more fancy stuff. I should be much more tight on timing. I should be much more accurate. The durations of the notes, they should be much more accurate. I should be able to do a lot more techniques than I am already capable of doing. So I have all these thoughts in my head that I should be further down the road than I already am. But at the same time, if I ignore my thoughts, my experience is very, very awesome. I love it. I love to do the pad practice. I love to do it, and it's okay. It's okay. The place I'm in right now is the place I'm supposed to be. It's perfect. Yeah. And so if we're talking about the XpressPads course, I haven't really advanced since the last progress video. So that's probably why. The main reason I'm feeling like I haven't progressed much, because I was in the advanced section, in the beginning part of the advanced section, like 5 months ago, I think, and I had already started doing rudiments, and I'm still there. If I'm to be honest, I have not really opened the course much lately, and I will explain why further down the sections of this video. But the thing is, yeah, so in short, I'm still there in the advanced section, in the rudiment section. So I have not, technique-wise, I'm still there. Yeah. Now, another thing I want to add here is that the lack of videos from my part is not only because of my circumstances. Yeah, it's not only that. It's also a thing that you know. Do you remember our friend Nular Music from our first finger drumming challenge? Yeah. He told me one thing one day, and I just totally related with that. He said, it's a lot more fun to do finger drumming than to make videos of yourself doing finger drumming. And I completely agree, and it's true. I can just, you know, after my daughter goes to sleep, I'll come to the desk, I will do the work if I've got some work to do, and when I finish, I'm just going to take out the pad controller and then practice. But if I want to do a video, do you know how long it took me to set up doing this video? I had to, well, it's a much more complex video than just filming myself doing a beat or a groove or just something new that I've learned. But I have to set up the camera on the stand. I have to, I don't know, set the desk up just to have it look a little bit decent, not just like, you know, all over the place like it's usually with my desk. I'm not very tidy with my desk. I'm gonna admit that. yeah, I have to make sure that everything is working, that I'm recording properly, and I also get like some sort of what is that, stage fright? Not stage fright. I don't play as relaxed when I know I'm filming myself than my regular practice. Yeah, so there's a lot of factors that just don't make it a very pleasant experience for me to film myself doing a finger drumming. Yeah, but I will do great efforts to do shorter videos from now on, just with performances, and that's one of my plans for the future. Yeah, but anyway, a lot of rambling, let's go on. Still talking about progress. Although I have not advanced much in the XpressPads core program, like I said, I'm still in the advanced course in the rudiments section, I have been dipping my toes into the metal and Latin expansions. Yeah. Maybe you have seen my some of my previous performances that include some metal kind of drumming. So I have been doing bits and pieces of the exercises in the metal expansion, and I have been starting to practice some of the hand postures, and actually the one hand posture and the very basic exercises in the Latin expansion, just to get a feel of it, just to get a feel for it. But I don't have anything to show for the Latin part. For the metal, I can do some metal drumming. Nothing too fancy, but on the Latin side of the world, I don't really have anything to show for right now. But I am practicing from now and then. I will be practicing the hand posture and the basic exercises. So I have done that as well. I know Andreas says in the course that it's not a good idea to attempt the metal or the Latin expansion or the jazz if you have not finished the core program, because there are certain techniques that are to be learned in the advanced and extreme section that are a must-have in your skill set if you want to attempt metal and Latin and possibly jazz. So I don't have all of these, which is why I'm not actively advancing too much in the metal or Latin expansions, but it is a lot of fun, I'm going to tell you that, and they're amazing. These expansions, they have so much cool stuff in them. It's amazing, so many beats, so many styles. So the Latin expansion is just mind-blowing, and the metal one is just like so much fun to do. But I'm really looking forward to getting a bit more advanced techniques from the core program under my belt, and then I can go and really have a go at the metal expansion. Yeah. Excuse me. Now, I have a short thing to add about the Latin expansion. If you have been watching my videos, you know that at one point in the summer I promised I was going to do a series of videos with exercises in my own style and vision, and I never did them, and there are reasons for that. Actually filmed one, the first one I filmed it, but I had a technical issue with my camera and the footage ended up being not usable, and then I just couldn't find the time to do it again. But the thing is, after looking into the Latin expansion, I noticed that some of the ideas that I already had and I thought were mine are already covered in the Latin expansion by Andreas. They are already there, the kinds of things that I'm thinking about. Not exactly the same thing, but it's kind of... It doesn't feel so much original right now to do that, but I might do that as well. I might just do the exercises videos sometime soon. Who knows? Not very soon, actually. I might do them because, I don't know, maybe they will help some of you watching who are doing course, maybe. So just with that thought in mind, I might attempt to do it soon, but I think if you go to the Latin expansion, you're gonna find some of the, at least the ideas for the beats and some of the ways to approach the types of exercises that I was gonna do. You're probably gonna find them there. Yeah, but anyway, I will leave that option open for now. Yeah. Okay, that's it for the progress section. Let's go to the breakthroughs and insights section. Very exciting times. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, first thing I want to talk about is that the strength of my fingers and the accuracy have improved very, very much. I'm not sure if you can tell that by the demonstration that I did at the beginning of the video, but I have noticed this, you know, over the period of months. It's easier for me to talk about this now because it's been a long time now. If I had done that 8-month video, I'm not sure I would have been able to say that, oh, I feel some improvement in my strength or accuracy. But right now I can tell you it's a world apart from where I was back then. So a lot of, you know, the strength is amazing right now in my fingers. I could, you know, a cousin of mine told me that I could you know, just break stuff with my fingers when they're really strong, although they don't look like I'm like some sort of ninja master Bruce Lee kind of you know, 3-inch punches and stuff, but they feel very strong, and I am much more accurate in my playing than I was before. I'm sure you can tell that if you compare the videos. Not perfect, of course, but I'm you know, it's a journey. I'm still on the journey. Yeah. So the timing has improved as well, but also needs a lot of work because I'm gonna be honest, again, I have confessed about this before, I am not using the metronome. There you go, man. You can judge me if you want. I do not like to use the metronome. That's just me. But I have noticed that with repetitions, with playing, with practicing a lot, timing will improve over time, if you pardon the pun. Yeah. Okay, one thing that has helped me quite a lot. It's really funny because this is one of my first issues in the first progress video. I think I had a problem doing the exercises in the basic section of the course. There was the alternation between accented and non-accented hi-hat hits or ride hits, if you want. And it's funny because that is one of the most common things I have gone back to and, you know, practiced a lot in order to improve, because I've noticed that is one of the very basic backbones of grooving. And those exercises are really the best. And I'm gonna talk this a little bit later. I'm gonna talk about this a little bit later, but I've noticed even, you know, there's one of my favorite drummers of all time is Jeff Porcaro from the band Toto. He's dead now, unfortunately. He's actually been dead for 30 years, I think. Amazing, one of the best drummers in the world, in my opinion, and in many other people's opinion. Yeah. He has an instructional DVD with exercises and breakdowns of his grooves, of his most famous grooves, and he's listing as one of his most favorite and used exercise is the alternation of accented and non-accented hits on the hi-hats. So that's one of the basics, man. You really have to get that under your belt, as it were. So if you're still thinking like I did back then, I hope you're not. Yeah, I was thinking like, I can just skip this section, it's boring, I'm gonna go to the next one. Don't do that, man. Or if you do that, do like me, get back to it and really nail it down. Really nail down those accented versus non-accented hi-hat hits, because man, you're gonna see a huge difference once you do that. Yeah. Okay, another breakthrough is that I had some exchange of messages on my YouTube videos with Novation. When I did that video on Novation Launchpad Pro, yeah, and I did a little rant about it because the controller that I got, the first one that I got, was faulty, had some faulty pads, and somehow Novation watched the video. I don't know, maybe someone who watched it sent it to them, so they commented on the video. They asked me, they said they were sorry that I had that problem, and they asked me if I had contacted their support team, and I had not. But yeah, anyway, I told them that I was going to get a second back controller, and I would get back with news. So I did get a second one, and there was an exchange of messages, but I felt like really good. I felt proud, you know, that Novation is taking an interest in me. I've got like 200 subscribers on YouTube, and I put a video once every who knows how many months. So yeah, that felt good, you know. I was like felt a little bit important there. Yeah, also I've been publishing snippets of my videos, just small performances on Instagram, and I got noticed by Excellent Audio. They liked, I tagged them in some of the beats, I think, and they liked my post. I know this is, you know, this is like nothing. It's but to me it felt good, you know. It's a little bit of a sign of appreciation, and it's really good to get feedback, any kind of feedback, really. So that felt good for me. Yeah. By the way, if you're interested, you can follow me on Instagram. I also made a Twitter account. I'm not very active on that, but it is there. All links will be in the description of the video, by the way, so I don't have to put them on the screen. You're gonna find everything in the description box, everything I'm talking about now, all the links, everything. So I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, I am on SoundCloud, although I only have like 2 tracks on SoundCloud, but I will add more, so you can follow me there if you want. Excuse me. I also made my first release on the streaming platforms. Yeah, I only have 1 track though, but I am on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Music, whatever, you name it, all the main streaming platforms. I'm not doing it to get rich. Of course, I'm not gonna get rich by posting my silly music on streaming platforms, but it's a way of distributing my music to whoever will want. You know, some people will have Spotify, and it's just going to be a lot easier to find me on Spotify and just listen to, check out my tracks or whatever. Other people will not have it, and they can go on SoundCloud and listen to them for free, or you can watch YouTube videos, because most of them I'm also going to post on YouTube as videos. So yeah. So that is there. It's all in the description box. If you're interested, the links are all there. Now, I'd like to talk a little bit of 2019 as a year for me, as a whole, because that has been an amazing year for me. If I'm talking about breakthroughs, so taking up finger drumming, XpressPads finger drumming technique, most of all, has been one of the best decisions that I've ever made, and it has brought me so much joy and accomplishment. I just can't stress how much. Maybe I'm hoping you can tell from my videos and my performances and just the way I talk about it. I'm hoping you can tell from that. One of the other amazing things that has happened in 2019 is that the amazing connection and friendship that I've made with my buddy Andre Louis, also known as the Blind Ninja Master of Finger Drumming. Of course, if you don't know who that is, the card that I never know exactly what it is, the card will show you, or the description box will show you who that is. I made a video about him. It has a YouTube channel. It's the most amazing person in the world. Yeah, and I have been very fortunate to meet Andre, because not only our friendship is of great value for me, but he has been instrumental, if you pardon the pun, instrumental in my breaking out of the shell. In his own words, he actually said that I broke out of my shell. There's a driving force inside of me that wants to take all that music that is going on inside my head. It wants to take it out and share it. And yeah, he has helped me a lot with that. He has inspired me. He's been like a mentor to me. He has taught me so many things. It's just, I've stolen stuff from him, you know, the knowledge. I steal knowledge from him and his music every day. He also helped me get in touch with other musicians, mostly blind musicians. There's a big community of blind musicians online, and there are WhatsApp groups. There is a WhatsApp group that I have been included in, mostly blind musicians, and I feel so lucky, man. I feel so fortunate, because the stuff that I get to hear in that group, there are world-class musicians in that group world-class pianists who play across the world that you see on TV or if you go to a classical concert. Music producers, mastering engineers, and you name it, man, writers, composers. This just, I feel like a rock in there. Like a total noob compared to those people, but I'm stealing stuff for them. Yeah, I'm listening whenever I can and becoming, more knowledgeable and richer in knowledge and experience in music every day. Yeah, so that is one of the things that I'm really grateful that happened in 2019. Also, this website that I've been talking about, metapop.com, it's a really good place if you want to practice writing music or doing remixes or writing scoring for trailers or movies. They have ongoing competitions right now. They have competitions all the time with amazing prizes, and they are so inspiring. The stuff that you see there are really good people writing music there. This is just some of the stuff that I heard, some of the submissions that I've heard on competitions in there are just mind-boggling, and I was inspired a lot, and I learned a lot from those people, and it's a great community. People are communicating, you can leave messages, comments, there are forum boards, you can get feedback on it, you can ask for feedback and get feedback on your track. Really, really great place to be. Yeah. Okay, so I talked about 2019. Now I'm going to talk about my plans for this year. And as always with my plans, I'm going to be a little bit, flexible with it, because I like to do a lot of stuff and then I just wake up and realize that I can't do all of it. Yeah, so this is my plan. Who knows if I'm going to get to do all of it, but this is it right now. So I'm planning to build up on my XpressPads progress and progress in my technique and advance. I was going to say advance in my technique, and I'm hoping to finish the core program by the end of the year. And I'm leaving myself a long time. That's almost it's actually 9 months. It's March already, right? Yeah. The reason I'm leaving so much time is because as we're gonna see when we have our chat about pad controllers soon, I have not yet found the best possible pad layout for the Launchpad X that I'm satisfied with. So it's one of the reasons my progress is not that good right now. It's stagnating a little bit, so that's why I'm leaving such a long distance until I can get to finish the course. That's my plan, to have it finished by the end of the year. Yeah. I'm also planning to explore other finger drumming techniques. I don't know which ones. Maybe not alternating hand movements. Maybe I really don't know. I'm gonna try. I'm keeping an open mind, and I'm looking to try new techniques as well, just as a means to expand my experience and knowledge, and of finding my own personal style of finger drumming and performing and music in general. I'm also planning to find that perfect pad layout for the Launchpad X. That's gonna require a lot of experimenting, but I am trying to find one that is like also includes the XpressPad Extreme layout, but also takes care of the limitations of the Launchpad X that we're going to talk about soon. Yeah. Another thing I want to do is release an album by the end of the year. Yeah, with music is not necessarily related to finger drumming, but it's an objective of mine. By the end of the year, I want to have like a 10, 15, 20, however many tracks that I consider worthy of releasing on the main streaming platforms. They will be, of course, available also for free on SoundCloud, YouTube, you name it. One other thing I'm planning to do, and that I'm really inspired by, is our friend Nular Music's kind of style of finger drumming, which is a hybrid between playing drums and music at the same time, triggering sounds or loops or effects while playing. And this is also done by other finger drummers. I have yet to see a video from my new friend Scott, finger drummer from the USA, who is actively learning and practicing this kind of technique, and I'm really looking forward to getting more into that kind of thing as well, because it's really cool. You have to watch some of those videos from Nular Music to see what I'm talking about. It's really good. It's really inspiring stuff and cool, not to mention cool. Yeah. Lastly, one other thing that I want to try doing more, which I have been doing, is playing the Launchpad X like a chromatic instrument, like a piano. It's different than playing the keys on the piano, because you don't. It's the keys on the piano or keyboards, MIDI controller keyboards. They have, the key, you press the key and it has a spring that brings the key back, and it's a different kind of movement than just hitting a pad. The pad you can either hit or touch, and with the keys you press and it comes back. It's a different kind of thing, so I can't really play the Launchpad X in the same way that you can play the keys on keyboard. So it's a little bit different, but I am practicing and I'm getting better, and I hope to have something to show in a few weeks, like a video of playing something other than drums on this pad controller, because it's awesome. The sensitivity is really good. To finish up this plans section, there is one more thing actually. I've been talking about in my previous video. I think I said I was not gonna promise any more videos or deadlines for the videos, because I just can't keep my promises, and I hate that. But I do plan to do 3 videos soon, sometime soon in the following weeks. So I want to do, first of all, I want to do a compilation of all of my performances, like demonstrations that I did from the first progress video to this 1 year progress video, and just make it like a few minutes video, so that whoever is interested in seeing, I'm gonna have it displayed on screen. After 1 month, this is what I could do, blah blah blah. After 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, and then I've got, although I didn't release progress videos every month, I skipped 1 month at a time, so I did like 4 and 5 months I just did 1 video. But I have some small snippets of me playing in other kinds of videos other than the progress videos. Yeah, so I can just have I can insert other performances in there and have them be like from, although I didn't do an 8 month progress video, I have some footage from my 9 months in. I did a Halloween video or something, so I can take the performance from that and put it there. So this is going to be one shorter video of just, I think it's going to be very useful for somebody wanting to see what the progress curve for performances with the XpressPads technique is over 1 year. So I think that's going to be an interesting video. So that's what I'm sure you're going to do. Another video is that I'm planning. Maybe I'm gonna do it, I'm not sure, but I think it would also be great to do like a 1 year walkthrough of the progress that I did. So like a summary of all the progress that I had in 1 year. So if I could just take mash in together all of the progress videos that I did into one, and have some chat and insert the performances, like a small performance for each month that I'm talking about. I think that would also be a good idea, but that's going to take a lot more work than just me stitching together performances. So I'm thinking about that one, but it's open. Yeah, the option is open. And the third video that I'm planning is the Launchpad X review video and my experience of it. Yeah, I have already filmed some, I filmed myself unboxing and doing the reaction, just like I did with the Launchpad Pro, and I still got that footage from like 4 months ago. So I'm going to use that and do a complete review, because now I've spent a lot of time with it, and I'm going to also offer my, my proposed pad layout that I'm using, and I have several actually. And I have not found the final one or the perfect one. If there is even such a thing. But maybe other people who have the Launchpad X and have not thought about these, maybe they will get something out of it. Maybe they will even comment and give me better ideas for pad layouts, who knows. Yeah. Okay, issues and solutions. Let's talk about that right now. Now, I think my main physical issue is still my impaired fingers. I have these 3 impaired fingers that I talked about in my third progress video. Although in the first few months this wasn't such a such a notice. No, it was noticeable, but not such a big deal, because my fingers became better and healed as I was learning the XpressPads technique. It helped me a lot. The alternating movement helped me, grow the muscles in those fingers and get strength back in them. So I was very happy to notice improvements in my fingers alongside the technique that was improving as well. But after one point, after like 8 or 9 months in, the impairment, which is still there, they're not the same. They still have, I've had these fingers like this for 20 something years, almost 30 years now, so they haven't, grown as big as these ones. There are some constraints, some limitations in the fingers themselves. They don't feel as, they feel tensed, more tensed all the time. They don't have the same, how do I say this in English? They don't have the same mobility or flexibility or whatever that is as these ones, although I've practiced them a lot, trust me. But yeah, so after a certain point, every little muscle is important. Every little movement counts. Every little, tension in the fingers will count, will matter, and you will note. I will notice that I'm either not playing accurately, or I'm not accenting the way I'm supposed to accent the hits that I'm supposed to accent, or I'm not doing ghost notes the way I'm supposed to do the ghost notes after a certain speed or tempo. So the basic thing is that the impairment in my fingers has become much more obvious, because the healing and the natural development of the fingers themselves has not caught up with the level of technique that I've reached. So that I am working out a lot. So I am working out these fingers a lot, trust me. With every practice session, that is one of the main reasons that it takes me like 1 or 2 days after the practice to heal those fingers, because I am really working them out a lot. Yeah. Alright, I was going to talk about pad controllers, but since that is a longer chat, I'm going to leave it at the end of this issues section, so I'm going to skip to the next one. I have an issue with the fills that I do. I'm sure you've noticed this if you've watched even just this video or other my previous videos. Most of the fills that I do are the same tom rolls and combinations of toms and cymbals and kick drums, and it does get boring after a while. And I'm gonna be honest, that is because I have not done my homework in the fills section. Not even in the, I think I did in the basic section of the course, but in the intermediate I was like, didn't really swim too much in that lake back then. No, so it's starting to show. Yeah, I've already, it's become second nature to do those fills, so I really have to do a conscious effort to try different things out when it's time for a fill. And I feel like I'm overusing them, but yeah, that's what it is. I'm doing my best to try out different kind of techniques for the fills. Yeah, other issues have been, so I was said I wasn't gonna bore you with details, but the main thing is that I have had a few months of a lot of stress related to work and at home, and a lack of sleep. I've been getting little sleep. Therefore, finger drumming has helped very much, although I haven't done too much of it, but it has helped a lot. But the other amazing solution that I found to this stress, getting rid of stress and upsets and anger, is the music part, the music production part of my life that has been going on lately. So I turned to that more than finger drumming. So I've spent a lot more time doing music in the past few months than finger drumming, and the main reason for that is the pad controllers situation. Yeah, but before talking about the pad controllers, let's talk about challenges. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of challenges lately, and I think I went a little bit too far. No, I don't think. I know for a fact that I went a little bit too far with the second finger drumming challenge. Yeah, if you followed my channel, you know that I did a finger drumming challenge that Andreas himself promoted on his channel and got a bunch of people sent to the video, and I even did a challenge compilation with all the participants. I think there were 8 of us. That was a really amazing project to be part in. That was mind-blowing. Yeah, there's the video on my channel. You can watch it if you haven't already. And then I did a second challenge. I just want to check that I'm still recording. Hold on. Looks like I am. Yeah, so I did that second challenge video that had 3 challenges in it, and I know that I went a little bit too far with it. And not only did I set very difficult challenges in that video, but also didn't follow up at all, didn't do any more reminders. I set 2 months for the practice time for those challenges and just left it at that. And when the deadline came, nobody submitted anything. It was just me. So I guess people either forgot, or they felt it was too hard or not enough time to do all those challenges, or they felt intimidated and just, I don't know. So nobody participated. If you in the beginning of this video, I did 2 of the challenges, because the first one I could already do. I even demoed it in the video itself, the funky drummer beat, so I could play that already. So I did in this intro of this video, I did the Rosanna shuffle groove and the improv on Andre Louis' track, that crazy funky track that is in 4/4, by the way, but it's so hard to get you should try it. If you think that's easy to jam to, you should try it. It's really took me a while to be able to the notes, the way the notes are in the melody line or the rhythm. I don't know, man, what it is, but it's really hard to get into doing any kind of jam of that thing. But I'm happy that I eventually managed to do it. Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the Rosanna shuffle groove, man, because this is one very big thing for me. It's been, how many months has it been now since that I set that challenge? It's been a few months, a few good months, maybe 4 or 5 months, maybe more, I'm not sure. So the Rosanna shuffle groove is the single most difficult thing that I have attempted in my finger drumming so far, and I still can't do it perfectly. If you go back to, don't go back, hold on. I'm gonna insert the small clip right now so that you can see the current level that I can play it at, which is not the best in the world. So here it is. Yeah, so as you can see, not the best rendition of this groove right now, if you take into account how many months I've had to practice it. But I'm gonna tell you, man, that is one of the most difficult, bloody things, as the British would say, in the world. For me, at least, it was. It is. It still is. Not only the physical strength and agility, and not agility, ability and accuracy needed to play that groove, but also the wrapping your brain around that, the way of playing that with the XpressPads technique, which is alternating, because every time the ghost note is what I'm talking about, because if I play the groove without the ghost note, which is like this, it's fine. I can do it perfectly. I can do it with my eyes closed. I can do it in my sleep. I can do it at any sensible tempo. Excuse me. But if I add the ghost notes, that turns into a completely different monster, because you have to alternate the ghost notes as well. It's one ghost note on the left hand, one on the right hand, at the same time that you're trying to do that Bo Diddley kind of bass drum pattern. So it's like three things going on at the same time. It's really cool when you get to finally play it. Although I'm not playing it perfectly, I can do it awkwardly. It's a fantastic feeling, because it just feels like such a great achievement to do. And I have seen, for instance, Rob from the Quest for Groove. He plays that with his technique, which is not alternating. Is doing ghost notes with just one with the left hand. And it looks like he's doing it is very easy for him to do it. And I might just try a different approach for mastering this groove. If I am to really master this groove, I'm gonna keep practicing the current way that I'm trying to do it, which is alternating. But I'm also thinking of taking the second approach of using double strokes, which are in the advanced part of the course. And I'm doing double strokes already, but not bang on, not really accurately. So I'm thinking of starting to attempt a version with double strokes, so that I can get to do the ghost notes with the same hand, and that is easier. Excuse me. It's easier for my brain to process the whole thing and play that thing, because it's such an amazing groove. It's so cool and so cool to play. I don't want to give up on it. I'm really ashamed that it's taken me so long and I've still not mastered it. But yeah, that is the Rosanna Shuffle groove. It's do yourself a favor and learn that groove, whatever way you want to approach it. Yeah, that is just the best thing. Okay, the time has come to talk about the pad controllers. Yes. So the main thing that happened back at my last progress video, which was the 6 + 7 months, I think. Yeah. I was very frustrated that I couldn't find a second MPD-218, AKAI MPD-218, a second good MPD-218 to have the dual setup. Yeah, because it's fun. It's a lot of fun to play this pad controller just by itself, but I really wanted the dual setup, so that I have the side stick, the ride bell, the rim shot, the snare rim shot 4 times instead of 2, more crashes, cowbell, whatever. Yeah, so I really wanted that. That is the main reason that I got the Launchpad, actually. Yeah, so I just couldn't for the life of me find a good one. And I gave up at one point because it was just getting ridiculous, man. I did a little rant in that 6 and 7 months video about the AKAI issue. I'm not gonna repeat it now. I was meaning to do a separate video about it. I might even do it still, although I haven't. But yeah, so in short, I gave up on the dual 16 pad controller setup, and I turned to 64 pads controllers instead. So the first one that I got was the Novation Launchpad Pro, which was good, was better than iRig pads and AKAI MPD-218, although it was not as sensitive as the MPD-218. But yeah, just like, I don't know, 2 weeks after I got the good one, because first I got the bad one, and I had to send it back, and then I got a new one, so I had to wait, you know. this is one of the reasons that my progress was hindered, because I never could actually stick to one pad controller and advance in the technique, because it's different. If you have more than one pad controller, you will know what I mean. Different models, right? So if you practice the iRig pads, you're gonna play one way. If you want to switch to the MPD-218, which is what I did in the first few months, it's gonna be hard. You have to adjust. You have to adapt to it. You can't just use the same strength that you hit the previous controller, because it's not gonna work. They feel different. They respond differently. They have different sensitivity. Yeah. So I got the Launchpad Pro. Started practicing on it. It was really good. Until I noticed the faulty pads. Then I had to send it back. Then until the new one came, I was back on the iRig pads. Then the new Launchpad Pro came, and it was good. It was perfect, and I went on practicing on that. I even put out that Halloween video that I used that kind of I triggered melodies at the same time with the drums, kind of thing. I really liked the 64 pads. It's really so many more options. Yeah. But then, after like 2 weeks of having the new good Launchpad Pro, Novation announced that they're releasing the Launchpad X, which has improved sensitivity in the pads. So I already had like 1 or 2 weeks left in my 30 days return period that I could return the Launchpad Pro and they give me my money back. So I was like, I can't waste this opportunity. I have to send it back and get the Launchpad X because it was the same price. And that's what I did. Only guess what happened? I ordered it from Amazon, the Launchpad X, because in Romania I couldn't find it. They didn't have it yet. The music stores, they didn't have the Launchpad X yet. I found it on Amazon, ordered it, and it was one of the most frustrating and ridiculous experiences of my life. It took it more than 1 month to reach me. It was lost, the package was lost, and then I had a bunch of talks with the Amazon people, and then they sent another one, and it wasn't getting here, and I ended up getting one from Romania, because after a month or so, the music stores in Romania started getting the Launchpad X. They started getting the Launchpad X, so I just showed Amazon the finger and bought it from Romania, and at one point the Amazon one got here and I just returned it back and got my money back. So I had 1 month of after practicing the Launchpad Pro, the good one, I was like, oh yeah, and then I had to send it back, and until the Launchpad X got here I got like more than 1 month going back to these controllers, which is ridiculous, man. You can imagine the adjustments that my brain and my hands had to do. Okay, Launchpad X got here, amazing. Sensitivity is a dream, almost as sensitive as the MPD-218, as the good pads on the MPD-218, but different kind of feel. It's not as rubbery as the Launchpad Pro or any of these two controllers that I had. I'm gonna talk about it in the Launchpad X review, but it was a chore. It was an effort to adjust to the Launchpad X as well. It took me a long time. I'm actually still making a lot of mistakes, hitting the wrong pads right now, because it takes a long time to get used to it. And as Andreas himself said in the video that he did as a review for the Launchpad Pro, I think, back, I don't know how many years, 1 or 2 years ago, he said it's fine, but it's not the ideal option for XpressPads. And after a few months of playing with the Launchpad Pro, I have not yet found the ideal pad layout. I'm not even sure that I can find one that is offering the same experience as having two, the dual 16-pad controller setup. So right now, because I have not yet found the ideal setup, I tend to agree with Andreas that this dual pad controller setup is still the best option for XpressPads, and that's the main reason that you even saw those demos at the beginning of this video of me playing, the illegal combination of AKAI MPD218 and iRig pads. Who would have thought that? You didn't see that coming, did you? You didn't. Nobody expected me doing a demo of a dual pad setup with MPD218, the most sensitive pad controller on the market, and iRig pads, the least sensitive one. Yeah, fortunately, I am using the MPD218 for my impaired fingers, on my right hand, which has the impaired fingers, so that I don't have to hit it very hard, and I can I use the iRig pads for my left hand, which is much stronger, and I can hit it, and after a while my brain gets used to it, and I don't feel the difference so much. But yeah, I I tend to agree with Andres right now. The best possible option for XpressPads, advanced and extreme sections and beyond is the dual 16 pad controller setup. And I don't know what the future holds, but I would really love to be able to find a second good MPD218. If not, I don't know, I might just experiment and get 2 iRig pads so that I still have the same the same kind of sensitivity and look, because it's really hard. If you haven't done this, you don't know. It's really hard to play this dual setup because you will get confused between the colors of the pads, because some of them are black, some of them are white. They're not even on the same level. They don't have even the same size or the same space between them. They don't feel the same. It's a whole, they're 2 different worlds. They're a world apart. Yeah. But yeah, that is the pad controller chat that I wanted to have, and I hope you found it interesting. Yeah. I will cover more about this subject in future videos, and yeah, I'm not gonna quit until I find either the dual pad setup or the best possible pad layout, or I don't know what, on the Launchpad X, to have a satisfying experience of progressing in XpressPads beyond advanced and extreme parts of the course and the expansions. Yeah, so right now, this has been the most important factor in hindering my progress these past few months, and this is the main reason I am lagging behind in my techniques and the challenges and all that, because I have been going back and forth between these controllers that are so different from one another and from so many aspects. But there is one upside to this. There is one benefit of playing 3 different pad controllers, and that is I had this in my head for a while, this kind of comparison of metaphor kind of thing. If you drive a car and you have driven more than one car, you know that once you start, if you get used to one car, that's fine. But if you then attempt driving a second, a third, a fourth car, with every new car that you drive, your driving experience expands exponentially, because you are used to one thing, and then you're driving a different car, has a different maybe position or size of the gear shifter, the pedals are different, maybe they even have different or the tension is different, the steering, everything is different, so you have to adjust, and it's always good to have different kind of at least that's what I believe. So different models for the same kind of activity is the best way I can put it in English right now, I guess. Yeah, so having 3 kinds of pad controllers is good, actually. If you have this option, I have invested in these things because I care a lot about finger drumming, and I will invest in more equipment whenever I have budget for it. Yeah, it really pays off to have more options, and it helps your fingers because they adapt, and it's like doing workouts, man. It's when you go to the gym, if you just do like one type of exercise, I don't know, let's say if you do, maybe this is not the best comparison, but it's the same thing. It's like you're working different muscles. If you're trying different techniques, maybe you add weights, maybe you yoga, maybe, I don't know. So it's working out different muscles, helping your brain process information in a different way than the pad controller you're used to. So this is the end of the pad controller discussion. Yeah, I think we're done with the issues and solutions. I'm not sure I had any solutions, mostly issues, I guess. Yeah, let's go to tips. Yeah, I have some tips for you if you want. Yeah, the first tip is something that I do almost every day. This is like an ongoing effort on improving your ear and your thinking and your brain processing and understanding of drum beats and grooves and stuff. Listen to drum beats and drum solos and whatever with drums in the background in headphones if you have this option. I work at a desk all day, so I've got my headphones on all the time, so I just have stuff running in there all the time. And most of the time I will just have drum solos or drum beats playing in my headphones, or even addictive drums beats. You know, if there's with each preset in the drum kits, you can audition a drum beat that will show you what that preset sound like. And there are some really cool drum beats in addictive drums too. I have actually played some of them in the demonstration that I did at the beginning of this video. If you know them, maybe you've even recognized them and you've thought like, that guy stole those beats from addictive drums too. Shame on you. No, they're really good, and it's actually one of my other tips that you should try and learn those grooves or beats from addictive drums, because they are some of them are really well known. Some of them are really cool and groovy, man. You're gonna love practicing them. I love practicing them, and I'm learning new ones every few weeks or so. So that is one great tip I've got for you. Yeah. Okay, another tip is if you are like me, Mario, yes, if you are into challenges and like to push yourself a lot, you can overdo it like I have. So one tip is, don't overdo it, man. Keep it realistic. It's awesome. I do challenges almost every week. I either learn a new groove or a new beat or whatever, or I take part in a challenge on metabop.com, write a track, or I challenge myself to write some kind of music, or we have challenges. Me and Andre Louis have challenges all the time. We challenge ourselves to write tracks or do beats or something, just, you know, with certain limitations. Write one track just using one plugin or one library. For instance, we both did Spitfire Labs. It's a free plugin from Spitfire Audio. Yeah, or I don't know, we did a bunch of others. Challenges are awesome. They help you grow. They give you adrenaline and excitement, and just it makes it a lot more fun to do anything really. But you can't overdo it, so watch out for that if you want. Yeah, I overdid it. Not fun. Not much fun at all. Yeah, so another tip is something I've just talked about, is that for long-term with XpressPads, probably the best setup is the dual 16 pad controller thing, but also the 64 pad controller. That's the Launchpad X, Launchpad Pro, Ableton Push, whatever other 64 pad controllers are there. So I think the best possible combination is having a dual 16 and a 64 at the same time. But if you can't afford, or you can't, for some reason can't get or don't want the 64 pad one, this is probably, at least in my opinion, the best shot that you've got at going long term with XpressPads, advancing, going to extreme section and beyond, and the expansions, metal, jazz, Latin. Yeah. Another tip is actually something I've already talked about as well, is trying to play the controller if you have a 64 pad or even these 16 pad ones. Try to play them as chromatic instruments. Load the piano and try to play melodies or chords or rhythms or stuff and stuff. That it has helped me, will help you in your finger drumming skills and in your music skill, composition or playing skills if you're inclined that way. Yeah. Take longer breaks as you reach further levels of the XpressPad chords where progress gets slower, like I told you about myself. I really think that this is a good thing, taking longer breaks after really long workout. Man, even if you go at the gym or if you run, you need a day or two to recover. At least that's how I think about it. Yeah. So take longer breaks when you reach that level of slower progress. It works. Test it on me. Yeah. 2 more tips. If you don't have much time to do finger drumming, like me, I only can do it at night, late at night. Sometimes I can't do it at all. Practice on the desk, man, or any kind of surface, even your body, although it's harder on your body because you need like a harder surface that is similar to the pads. For instance, I do a lot of finger drumming on the desk. I hope you can hear that. Yeah, so I do that whenever I've got like 5 seconds at work. I've sent an email and I'm taking like a 1-minute break. I will tap on the desk. You can even practice rudiments on the desk. Yeah, you can practice beats. Not every kind of thing, but the basic, the ones that have like the bass drum and snare and maybe even hi-hats. You can do those, and actually rudiments. I should do more rudiments like that. That's awesome. You should do that. I think that's a great tip. Finger drum on any hard surface that you can all day long if you want. So you can do finger drumming without a pad controller. How cool is that? Yeah. Okay, last tip. That's something that I have discovered recently, but that I saw, I think last year with Andreas. He had that video. Get a wood board is the tip. Yeah, if you go back to the intro of this video and you see me demonstrate the dual pad setup, I have them on a wood board on my lap, and I must say, because it's a bit lower, so my desk is up here, but if I put the wood board, it's gonna be on my lap, it's gonna be down here. It's much more comfortable. It's much more comfortable to play than up on the desk, because up on the desk the hands are more up in the air, and it's much more tension in the shoulders and elbows. So I've noticed that this is just something I did a few days ago. A wood board on the lap is probably the best solution long term, and it helps me keep my back straight a lot more than playing on the desk. Nular Music, for instance, plays his Launchpad Pro on his lap without a board, but that is big enough and sturdy enough and thick to play on your lap. Launchpad X, for instance, is not. It's a lot smaller and thinner, so not really good, because you have to keep your knees together, and that's not going to be very comfortable. You want to be as relaxed as possible when finger drumming, especially for long periods of time. So that is one thing you might want to invest in. Wood board is really cheap. It's like, I don't know, 5-6 euros in a hardware store. Yeah, I'm gonna get one. Actually, the board that I used in the video is from my daughter's toy. It's like a wood ladder with a plank kind of thing. Yeah, so I'm gonna get a wood board just for the pad controllers and do the finger drumming on the board on my lap. Yeah. Okay, we have 2 more sections. That's gonna take very short chat about these. That was not English, was it? No. We have 2 more sections that will take little time for us to talk about, I guess. Yeah. Okay. I've been meaning to share this before, maybe you even know these people, but I'm just gonna say it anyway because for me, inspiration is the name of this section. I get inspired by some really good drummers just by listening to their soloing or just grooving or they're playing in bands. And there are 4 drummers at the moment that I'm most inspired by, and these are Eric Moore. I'm gonna put links. I need to remember this. I'm gonna put links in the description of videos from these 4 guys. If you don't know them, if you've been living under a rock and you don't know at least one of these people, yeah. Okay, so Eric Moore is probably my favorite drummer in the world right now. Although many people will argue that, oh, he's not the best drummer in the world. Yeah, there's like Mike Portnoy or I don't care, man. It's like, for me, he's most inspiring and amazing drummer at the moment. Yeah, it's not the best. I'm not saying he's the best. Okay, it's just for me, it's the closest to my soul right now. Mike Mangini. This is, by the way, I don't know why I did this like a hierarchy. No, it's 4 drummers. There's no one of them better than the others. Yeah, it's 4 drummers. Yeah, Mike Mangini. Yeah, I really like Mike Mangini. Mangini is playing in Dream Theater and his solos and his live performances. Very much inspired by that. I'm not even gonna go into that Mike Portnoy versus Mike Mangini chat. I don't care, man. If you're a Portnoy fan, awesome. I like Mike Portnoy a lot. I'm a lot more inspired by Mangini at the moment. Who knows, in the future might switch to Portnoy when I get to my. I've noticed that the year, not the physical year, maybe even the physical year, but the way I hear things changes over the years, and the stuff that I used to like to listen to is boring, and I go on to different things. For instance, this is a really easy example. I used to like Manowar, the band, metalhead. Yeah, I'm a metalhead. I was really into Manowar a few years ago. I still think they're awesome. I love to listen to some of their songs, but not so much anymore. It's like my ear has changed more towards prog and symphonic metal and I don't know, all sorts of kind of experimental, extreme metal, brutal metal. Not going to that chat right now. But yeah, so Mike Mangini. Jeff Porcaro, we talked about Jeff Porcaro in the Rosanna Shuffle Groove discussion. One of the best drummers in the world, in my opinion. And it's not like it. I'm not comparing again. I don't know why I try to say this like the best, one of the best, one of the most inspiring for me. Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it. Yeah, but consensus among drummers and producers, as I've read about, is that he was one of the best session drummers in the world. Yeah, the way he was grooving and the beats he came up with, really good. And you really should watch, if you haven't already, you should watch that instructional DVD. It's like half an hour or 40 minutes that he put out. I'm also going to put a link into the description for that. It's actually the instructional DVD that I took that snippet of him playing the Rosanna Shuffle that I added in that challenge video back then. Yeah. Okay, last one that I want to add right now, it's Nate Smith. Oh my god, man, if you don't know Nate Smith, you really need to look him up right now. I'm gonna put a video of him in the description. It's a really cool video. It's like 3 or 4 minutes in Chicago, I think. He's at a venue and he engages the crowd. He plays, I think he plays 7-8 beats, and he just cycles through them and switching accents and kit pieces and making it more and more difficult to count. And he has the audience counting the beats until they just can't follow anymore. He's this one of the, oh my god, man, I don't even have words, man. You have to listen to him play and you have to watch that video so that you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, those are the 4 drummers I wanted to talk about right now. Most inspiring for me at the time being might change in the world, in the future, who knows. Yeah. Okay, this is the last section, as always, the challenge for the next video. Yeah, so in the previous video I challenged myself to learn the metal groove from the XpressPads, from Andreas's demo reel video. He has a short metal groove that I really liked, and I said I would learn that until the next progress video, which was supposed to be the 8 + 9 months. So I had 2 months to learn it, and I can't prove it, but I did learn it before the deadline. But I released it, I showcased it in my Christmas video, and if you haven't seen that, I'm gonna, because it's short, I'm gonna insert it right now so that you can see my rendition of that groove right now. Okay, that was it, and for the next video, no, not for the next video, because that might be, I think the next progress video might be like 1.5 years or something. Yeah, so that I have something to talk about again. But I'm gonna take 2 months to learn this thing. Okay, that was it for this progress video. I hope you found it at least somewhat interesting and or entertaining. That was my purpose. If you have, awesome. If you haven't, leave a comment and tell me what doesn't work, what didn't work in this video, what you would have liked to hear or see and I didn't do it. Suggestions, I will take suggestions. Awesome. Yeah, so if you want to take part in the challenge that I just set for myself for 2 months, you're welcome. I'm gonna think if I'm gonna do any other public challenges. I'm gonna see if I want to do that again. I'm gonna think about it and do them properly next time. Yeah. Okay, this is it. This is the 1 year progress video. So the next progress video is probably gonna be 1.5 years. I'm not sure. I mean, I envisioned this project as being useful for people researching XpressPads or finger drumming in general, and seeing, you know, what can be done, what it looks like, what progress looks like, what you can expect. And 1 year is probably enough of a time to get that, you know, to make up your mind, or to, if you have questions, you can ask questions. But I don't know if people are still interested in these videos. I'm gonna keep doing them, so probably 1.5 years is the next one. 2 years, who knows, 3 years then. 3 years probably a good time for the last progress video ever. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe in 3 years, at the slow rate that I'm going at, I should be able to be a master in all, in the, you know, the core program, the metal, Latin and jazz expansions. That would be ideal. I think 3 years, since I'm not spending and I'm not investing a lot of time in finger drumming or XpressPads, and I'm also doing a lot of other stuff in the limited free time that I have. So if in 3 years time I am a master of XpressPads and the expansions, I am gonna be very happy. Yeah, so I will see you in the next video, and I hope you have a good time practicing your pads, and all my best to you, and as always, goodbye!